Good afternoon, Malaysia. Welcome to the Lim Ren En Live again. Today is a very special day. Today I'm so sorry. This is a live show. You cannot take two. That's what I like about it. You cannot just go back and do it. Today is a special day. Why? Because we have just crossed 3,000 FB followers and FB likes. Yay! We have passed 3,000. Thank you for all the support. We are moving forward to 6,000 to 10,000 fans. What we want to do at Lim Ren En Live at Success Stories and Insurance Matters is to build a fan base that there's a place that you can come in and actually learn how to be successful. So today's show is very different. You always see me doing it standing, but you always see me doing it sitting on a chair. But today you see we are moving around and standing. Why? Because we want to experiment a new way of hosting the show. We want to experiment a new way of engaging you, the hand gesture, the eye, That's why we are doing it standing today, right? So today we have a very special guest. This is the 24th session we have done already. And today we are going back and interviewing and also learning from one of the top business coach who actually appeared on my very first show, Mr. Bernard Lee. Come in for a while.
Hey!
Yay! Okay, you can go up. I haven't finished. So this week we will share the secret of how to turn your company around. Now, ever wonder how can you make more money, sell more product with less salespeople or not? Have you ever wondered how can you grow your revenue and profits but spend less? So today we were going to share this amazing topic on how the secret to turn every headcount in your company to be part of a super sales machine. Getting your whole company to be part of the sales process is vital. Making sure your company survives and come back stronger after this pandemic, right? So now everybody can sell. So Bernard will share the 3 simple steps to making and even your office lady a part of the sales process and making money for your company. So let's welcome Bernard Lee, my good friend. Bernard, welcome to the show again.
Thank you so much.
Social distancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have been sanitized, don't worry.
Yeah, we have been sanitized.
Yeah.
So, all right. So today's session is about turning your whole company into a super sales machine.
That's right.
Now, tell me the first question. I'd like to jump on the question first.
Okay.
Now, how many % of a company normally consists of salespeople?
Good question. All right. Usually it's always 80-20. Okay. The company will consist of 20% of salespeople, and the rest of 80% they are non-sales. So what happened is that they depend on this 20% to bring in the 80% of the sales.
So the normal thing is what, 80-20?
Yeah. So the 20% will be the salespeople, 80% will be that production, customer service, the accounts, the procurement, the purchasing, and the rest of the departments.
But yet again, the salespeople are one of the most important, crucial part of a company, right?
Yes.
Without the sales, there's no accountant, there's no processing, there's nothing. Basically,
Correct.
Sales, whatever that you produce, you must be able to sell it, then the company survives. Then the company must move on. But why is it that company only put 20% of their effort into salespeople?
Okay. Traditionally, people run organization, right, or company. They focus on departments. Okay. They always think that I must have this department, the sales, I must have operation, admin, accounts, and the rest of the departments. Okay. Why? They thought that I must have the holistic approach in order to run this business, especially for SME, the small medium enterprise. You have the advantage of putting these 3 steps I'll be sharing later. Because if MNC, right, it's a bit tough because of the system and the structure. So if you are a small and medium company, this is the right time to actually gather the 80% into the 20%, which is the sales department, and then get them understand how do they bring in the business and how do they affect the rest of the department.
But my company, AIA Berhad, we have 3,000 staffs. 3,000 staffs who are admins, underwriters, and all that. But we have, in fact, 15,000 insurance sales people in Malaysia. So, people like AIA, they pivot differently, right?
Yes.
Our will be 80% sales force and 20% admin staff. Should company follow this model?
It is an excellent model, but however, it's a different industry and it's a different ballgame. But the focus is, why do they have all this big percentage of salespeople? Because they understand the fundamental of a company is sales equals profit. You can have the best operation, the best accountant, the best procurement, the best customer service in the world, and so on. But if you don't bring in that sales, in that which is equals profit, it defeats the purpose. So sales department, it's very, very, very important.
Sales department is very, very important. Now, for all of you out there, if you have a friend or a business partner or a person who needs to watch this, how to improve the sales team, and how to move the whole company into a big sales machine.
Right.
If you would like them to see this, please share this video with them.
Yes.
And you can always ask us question in between. We will try to answer all your questions, and I can see some comments in. I think some of my staff need to put in a comment because I need to see the comments in. Right? So you have any question, you can ask me in between, but now we will continue with the conversation with Bernard.
Yeah, if you're seeing from my FB page, if you're running a business, if you want to know how and further what a structure to use, you can actually send in message to his page or to my page as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So either one will do. So your page will be success-driven consultancy, right?
Yeah, success-driven training and
Yes.
consultancy. Yeah.
So my page is what you're watching now, okay? So you can put in a comment. We will try to answer your question today and kind of get back to you. Now, what do you mean by turning the company into a super sales machine? Can you elaborate that? What do you mean by that?
Okay, every dream of a business owner, whether it's a medium or small enterprise, you want to turn the company into a sales machine. What do I mean by this? That everybody in the company, whether they are in the admin, as I said just now, admin, operation, or purchasing, or service, or even the grounds, or even the tea lady, okay? Apart from sales department, you want to get into the mindset and also the understanding of a simple sales process. Not to ask them to do the practical selling, but at least they know, hey, I know what's going on with the company's business and how do they get in sales and so on. You know why this is very important? I said in the beginning just now that sales equals profit. If they say the profit of company is not doing very well, okay, the sales is a bit low, and what happens is that it brings a lot of stress towards especially the leader of a company. So if the leader is having all this stress, right, usually it will cascade down to all the other departments. However, if the departments understand that what are the salespeople doing out there, they can be a very good backup or support from the office. I'll give you an example. Let's say the salespeople receive a PO, purchase order. They got an order in, and they send this order back to the office, and the admin will receive the PO and send it to a respective department. Now, usually this is what happened. They receive the PO. The mindset of not understanding the sales department is that, okay, I can put this PO one side first, I can do this later and so on. Why? Because they don't understand that if the process does not carry forward as soon as possible, the sales will not happen. Signing on the dot a contract or PO does not mean the money is in yet.
Correct.
It has to go through a process so that by the end of the day, you get the money in. So the entire sales process. So the other department, if they understand the process of a sales department, it's very easy for them to go into the direction of the company, if the direction of the company is to have a sales movement.
True.
Yeah.
So basically turning into sales, the whole company into it, you must actually get everybody involved, right?
Yes.
So tell me, what is the first step? Who is involved and who is not? What is your idea of who should get involved in the sales process and who should not get involved in the sales process?
Okay, the person who should get involved first, obviously, is the sales department. Okay, if you are not doing sales, as if you are in the sales department, then something is wrong. The second people, it's the supportive role, who supposed to understand what is the sales role and how does the sales happen and what happened after the sales happen and then who gets affected. Why do they need to understand even though it's not their department? The reason being, because if they do not understand the simple process of getting the sales in, they wouldn't want to go along with the company to gain growth and profit.
So you are saying everybody should be involved. Now your everybody and everybody is like including a tea lady,
Yes.
the jaga of the gate.
Yes, surprisingly, right?
You mean jaga of the bed also? Not the bed, sorry, not
The
not
gate.
jaga of the bed, okay? Jaga of the gate.
Not a paid.
Jaga of the gate should be also involved.
Everybody.
Everybody, the tea lady, the jaga, the account staff,
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
The intern,
The intern, yes and no, okay? Because the intern is there to learn. If they can, then it's
now let me just put it this way, why the jaga of the gate is important. Now a lot of times when I visit factories, when I visit, I used to visit this factory in Sungai Buloh. They're very funny that 12:30 they close the gate.
Why?
So listen to me, 12:30 they close the gate. Now if let's say the company boss is listening, Christopher, you should know it's your company. Your jaga will close the gate at 12:30. But the thing is that I always go and fetch them for lunch at about 12:35. So the gate is closed. So what do? I go in front. And when they see my car, they'll come down and ask me, where are you? Who are you seeing? I say, I'm seeing Christopher. So they'll open the gate with a big smile. So I actually quite enjoy, engaging the jaga. So if I'm a big purchaser, one day I happens to go and visit that factory, I think the jaga will give me a very good first impression, right?
Of course. Yeah.
See?
Definitely.
So actually, the gatekeeper is very important. You want to keep your gatekeeper very engaged as well in the sales process.
Yes.
Now tell me, people like the tea lady and the gatekeeper, what kind of information should they know? Should they know the whole thing or should they know just what is important?
Okay, good question. Now, when it comes to, like you say, tea lady or jaga, they do not need to do the practical selling. What do you mean practical selling? The actual selling, the whole process, right? But they need to understand that a simple framework of how the sales comes in. Give an example. Who is that? Who are we selling to? Are they qualified or not? Do they have the budget, the decision makers? Do they have the need? All these are simple process up to a follow-up. It is very good if you have weekly meeting and gather all these people in. Very short, about half an hour, 30 minutes. It's like get together once a week. And the leader of the company, it has to come from a leader of the company. I repeat, a leader of the company. It has to come from the top, okay? So the leader of the company will actually share this thing with everybody. Hey, we're moving towards growth through selling. Growth through selling. And how we're going to sell is this. Then the leader will actually let everybody see the actual process, the selling process, which is like prospecting, qualifying, approaching, presenting, presenting offer, the Q&A, test close, follow up, repeat orders, and so on. Now, the details of the work, it is done by the sales department. So the rest of the people will understand, oh, okay, so this is how the sales comes in, and it brings growth to the company, and by the end of the day, everybody grow. And of course, the KPI gets better, and people get better bonus. So the leader must make the entire company or the department understand, especially for SME, small company and medium company. Not MNC, not so much, but for the SME, the leader should let the people know about the sales flow.
So you're saying the number one steps towards turning your whole company, that was the number one step, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the number one.
The one of the steps towards
Sales
turning
machine.
your whole company into a sales machine is involve everyone
Yes, get everybody involved.
in all different levels.
Yeah, not necessarily practical selling, but
Yeah.
at least understanding the process. I see, it makes sense to them.
So let me just make this clear. So take example, if like my company AIA, if we have the security personnel, which is the gatekeepers, and we have this and that. So even the gatekeepers, the security personnel should know if somebody comes in and ask that I would like to buy a policy, who should I see? The gatekeeper should actually be able to send them to an appropriate person, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
If they know the proper process.
If they know the proper
If
process.
not, you know what happened? Oh, saya tak tahu. Saya tak tahu bukan kerja saya, you know.
Yeah.
Then they play tai chi, all this.
Or worse, they send them to the customer service. Then you know why it's worse sending to customer service? There's no button to press for new business one.
Yeah.
AIA's all insurance customer service, there's no button to press for new business.
So how?
Because AIA don't do direct selling, direct selling to
Correct.
right now. They always go through an agency for. So what happens is that this guy is going to go to customer service, no button to press, don't know ask who, and then don't know send to where.
Yeah.
So I think it is important, right? They have a SOP to do that.
Yeah.
So take example, if it's a cake shop, if it's a cake, or say a developer, you know, I think Peggy is watching today. If it's a developer, what kind of involvement should the admin staff write down to the salespeople and write down to the guy who actually building bricks? What kind of engagement can you just tell them how kind of engagement you should do?
Okay, first of all, when I say that everybody should get involved in the sales process, not everybody should get involved practically. What do I mean by this? You want to get the entire company to move towards growth through selling. Growth through selling. Okay, what's the word? Growth through selling. So people, whether they are T-Lady, the admin, or the security, they must have an understanding, as I said in the beginning, how does the business grow? It is through selling. So how do we sell? It's through this process. So as a leader, you should let them know, okay, our company, you know, we are growing, but we are growing through this thing. How do we do it? It's none of the other departments' concern. It is the concern of the sales department. So what happened? Other departments, when they understand this sales flow, the sales journey or the sales process, their antenna will go up. They begin indirectly, unconsciously, they will begin to look, siapa or who's the one that can actually buy our properties or our product or services, and who knows they bump into someone that has a need at that moment, and then they say, then they will call the sales department, Achong, I think this guy, he's looking for this particular thing lah. Maybe you can call him. So it becomes a point of reference from the internal rather from outsource. So everybody in the company, it's very active. The antenna is up. They are looking prospect for the company. Not necessarily practical selling, but at least there's an antenna goes up. But this one has to be built through times. It's going to be a culture. Yeah.
That's interesting. Actually getting the whole company, the whole process, the whole company to actually become a lead generation kind of thing. Right now. Then the practical guy, it is basically getting more eyes out there so that you know where the prey is.
Yes.
I'm gonna say prey. Customer. Where the customer is and get a hunter to go and hunt it down.
Right.
Correct?
So you see, right. Who is the best person to actually sell the product? Is the own company. Yeah. You know, some company they outsource to other people to sell, which I think, not to say it's not good, but the best is to get your own people to understand your own services and product, your own team, whether it's sales or non-sales.
Whether it's sales or non-sales, get your own team to do.
Yeah.
Right. So now, tell us, what is the second step? The first step is we've gone through it. What is the second step to move your whole company into a sales machine?
Okay. Second step, we focus on the 20%. Remember, the 20% brings in the 80% of sales, which is the sales department. Now, in the sales department, there will be salespeople who sells different way to different people. Now, as a leader of a company, you have to know that what kind of style a particular salesperson have. Every style that they actually have is good. Do not dampen their style. You know, some of the salespeople, they are very friendly, and when you go and meet people, you know, they just can talk and make people feel comfortable, and by the end of the day, talk about the services and product. Now, as a leader, you know, some people say that you cannot be too friendly with the customer, you know, and no, don't dampen their style. You have to focus on their style, what they do best, strengthen it, and then at the same time, make this person an all-rounder salesperson. Jack of all style, but master of one particular style. You have to do both. You know, some salespeople, they are like pit bull. You know, wow, they go for it. They're a fighter, no matter what. target you give them, yeah, they go for it. They will just bring back something, or they call the bulldog. Yeah, they will bring back something. So is it good? I think it's good. But some people say, hey, you cannot be too hard on the customer. You cannot be too forceful. Well, that's his way of bringing in sales. So you want to focus on his style, make him a better bulldog or better pit bull, and then you want to make him a also all-rounder salesperson. But his strength is on that go-getter style. So as a leader of a company, your job is to identify the different style and mold it, train them, empower them so that they become the best of what they do best. At the same time, they are also all-rounder. So this is one of the ways to actually strengthen the sales department. That's point number 2.
So point number 2, it is to recognize what each person's strength is and basically grow that strength, not to dampen it, but grow that strength.
Yes.
We always have insurance managers, or I was lucky. I have one of the best insurance manager in my business. He grew my style. He know that I'm a go-getter. So he always told me, you know what, this is the target, just go for it, and I know you will do it, So he doesn't stop me from being a little bit more, outward approach to my clients and all that. He helps me. But then again, I have another colleague who is actually a Chihuahua. So small and feisty. Chihuahua
Chili
means
padi lah,
chili padi, for
yes,
small and feisty.
Chili padi, yes.
Then he helped her to actually mellow down that feisty part and bring out that cuteness of a Chihuahua, of that small lady, and she did so well. And I have one who is a Labrador who says yes to everything. My colleague, that part she became a very good salesperson on service-based kind of involvement. I became very good in doing businessman insurance and all that. The Chihuahua went on to do a lot of a little bit more on the the influencer kind of character kind of salespeople. So I think everybody, that lesson number 2, as you say, is not to dampen their strength, but to actually groom it. So tell me,
maybe I can add a bit on that.
Please go ahead.
See, a leaders, sometimes being a leader, people always look up to us. Well, most of the time, okay. So we felt the burden, and we take the responsibility in order to lead them. So I can say 100% of the time people are looking up to us as leaders. But you got to be very careful not to feel threatened. The word is threatened. When your salespeople can actually do better sales than the leader itself. That's very important. Because if a leader is not careful in his heart in leading people, when a salesperson is shy, what happens is that there's a tendency of being you're fearful because he's doing better, I may lose out the authority or recognition. No, that is all false kind of thinking for a leader. You should actually be very very happy. You know why? Because your people is building up the profit for you. So in fact, that's why I say in the beginning, if you see someone who can do better job in certain area in the sales, mold it, make it become better. Most of all, better than you as a leader.
So that is very important, right? To actually have a heart big enough. To admit somebody is doing a better job than you.
Yes.
True. Everybody must learn a lesson, right? So, but okay, let's go on. Now, before we go into the third question, before we go into the third question, can you tell us the third steps, what is a effective sales process?
Okay, a very simple sales process if the leader of the company should know, and especially the 20% that brings in the profit, which is the sales club, they should know. First of all, you need to have a goal. From the goal, then only you can identify a prospect. Okay, who is the prospect? and then is the prospect suitable or not? That's where we move to the next stage. It's called qualifying. You want to qualify your prospect whether he has budget or not. You have good product, no budget, then cannot lah. All right. The second thing is that is he a decision maker or is she a decision maker, or is he or she an influencer? Sometimes influencer can carry some weight, but if you can find a decision maker, that'll be good. The third one is how do you qualify them? Is according to the needs. Yeah, you probably can ask some question to find out the needs. That's how you qualify. Then the following stage, once you know the prospect and then you qualify them, then what do? You approach them, right? You approach them. This is the process we're going through. You approach them, then you present your offer. Of course, you present yourself first. That's another topic, like how you present yourself. Okay, you present the offer, your product. Then after that, the next stage is you deal with a question. I'm sure that there's a lot of questions. If you can deal with those questions, usually the closing rate is quite high. So what happens is that you prepare in advance all those questions that may be asked by the prospect. Then you do a bit of test closing. The next one is test closing. You test a bit. For example, like, would you like to have this on Monday or Tuesday? You don't ask, would you like to have this or not? Try to remove the word not lah, okay? Try to give them options that they have to make some good decision from you. Then you do a testing. If you can close, then you close. Then after that, after closing, what happened? That's the stage where a lot of people don't do, which is what? Guess what is that? Yeah, some of you got it correct, which is follow-up service, after-sales service. After-sales service is very important. Why after-sales service is so important? Because you will know whether the product or service really fulfilled. Second thing, you will know whether you can get a referral from the existing customer. Third is that whether you know you will have a repeated orders or not. So once you close a sale, you must have these three things: after-sales service, repeat orders, referral. And then you go back to the same cycle. So this entire cycle has to be presented to all the people in the company. At least they know, this is how the company getting growth through sales, but not the practical selling, not the details, because the details will be done by the sales department. So if the accounts or the operation or the admin understand the sales process, or I personally call it the sales journey, then the entire company is alert. They always have an antenna to look up for prospect. And when they get a prospect, maybe they can do a better job is that they try to qualify. The moment they qualify, they will call the sales department. Hey, Mike, hey, Cindy, I think someone has a need. Actually, it's my neighbor, When I go back, I heard that they were talking about this, and our company has it. But I just don't know how to open the conversation. I tell you what, I give you the number. I'll WhatsApp her or WhatsApp him, say that my colleague will actually call you regarding this because yesterday I heard that you mentioned about this product. So they become a point of reference that the sales department can follow up. Now you see what happened here. The entire company inside become a point of what? Contact for the sales department. It means if you have a helicopter point of view, the company, it's a sales company. Everybody is selling. So that's a simple sales process. Again, the other department, other than sales department, do not need to do the practical selling. However, they need to understand the flow, the entire journey of sales process, so they can be a better lead generator for the company. So I guess as a leader, if you see the importance of this sales journey, maybe if you have time, I say maybe, you can go ask your secretary or you yourself can type it up on a piece of paper, the sales process. Then during a weekly meeting, don't need to be long, half an hour, get all these people together and then just have a chit chat, talking about, hey, everybody, will get into a mood of selling. I'll give you a tip. Okay, the process is one side, the sales journey is one side. Now I'll give you a tip as a leader. So as a leader for the company, when you meet your people, when you have meeting, it's compulsory that you give very good energy the moment you start the meeting. Do not start the meeting like, okay, everybody now, you all have to go and sell. I tell you better sell. Oh my goodness, you're creating unnecessary stress. Okay, so as a leader, you have to go in and create excitement. For example, like Hey, I tell you what, we've got a very good plan that benefits everybody. The company is going to give a lot of good rewards, I think, if this project is successful. So everybody said, yo, what is that? What is that? So it's your job to create the excitement. Yeah.
But I know you're a good narrator, but I didn't know you're so good. But that was amazing, right? The sales cycle. Now you understand how we go through, you know, the insurance people actually go through. Christopher was actually commenting, you know, saying that I'm actually the master closer, but I'm not the master closer. I'm just very good in doing servicing and doing my job. But anyway, now can we go to the third part? You know,
Yeah.
Let's go to the third part. What is the third steps to make sure that your whole company? Let me recap. The first one is to get your whole company involved into the sales process and to understand what is their role.
Yes.
The second thing is not to dampen their strength, but to actually highlight the strength of every single individual in the company, in the sales force, in the company, and make sure that they perform. Right? What is the third one? Bernard, what is the third one?
Okay, the third one, okay, I want to start with this. It is useless if you start something great, but if you don't follow up. Okay, it's useless if you start something great, but if you don't follow up. Now, what do I mean by this? If you kick off with this idea, I think this is one of the many ideas a lot of leaders of a company will, especially the sales department or the boss himself, will want to implement. It is useless if you don't have follow up. What do I mean by this? The moment you implement this idea into the company, you must have a system to follow up, especially for the sales department. You have to sit down with them. I'm talking for sales department first, yeah? You have to sit down with the sales department and see which part of the process that they are not performing well. Example, by the name, let's say a lady by the name of Michelle, okay? So Michelle start off with prospecting. She has prospect, then she did her qualifying, then after that she did her approach, and then she did her offer presentation. Then she failed at the Q&A or the handling objections. She failed that. Then you say, okay, fine. The second customer Michelle met, same thing. She got a prospect, she qualified. Then she did the approach, present her offer. Then again, when it comes to Q&A and handling objections, she failed. Now that gives you an indication that something needs to be adjusted so that she can be successfully, the Q&A can be successfully completed. So as a leader, right, you have to watch, hey, how come Michelle, first case, second case, the first stage is very successful until the Q&A. So it gives you a signal that Michelle needs to improve in the area of Q&A and object handling. So you have to have the kind of follow-up for your salespeople. Another case, let's say by the name of, you have a sales staff by the name of Kamal. So Kamal, the moment he sees his prospect, he does his qualifying, then every time he does his qualifying, he fail on the approach. He has 3 customers, all the 3 customers fail on the approach. That gives an indication that Kamal needs help. Pardon me. Kamal needs help, and Kamal needs some guidance from the leader on the area of approach. So a follow-up system has to be in the it can be in a computer or it can be on printed paper. You must see. Okay, it cannot be in your mind. You cannot like go guessing game or agak-agak. You cannot do that. There must be a system that you can see. So the moment you can see the system, Kamal is not doing well. Every time when it comes to approach, he failed. So what does it mean? He needs to improve in the area of approach. That's what I say, follow up on the salespeople. That's for salespeople. And then number 2, the follow up on your other departments that are not involved in sales. They're not for like what I say, accountants, and then the purchasing, the operation, the admin, and so on. Now your expectation on them, it cannot be, did you close the sale? How many? No. Your expectation is, okay, how many of you had an idea, your neighbor probably needs it, your good friend, your community, or your mosque people, your church people, your temple people, maybe some of them needs it. So the antenna will always go up and they will check for you. That's how you do your review and follow up for them. That's the step.
Very good, Bernard. Now, Bernard, I know that you're basically a specialist in team building and also a specialist in the insurance company's sales force kind of training.
Mhm.
But basically, what else do you do? Do you do normal manufacturing company sales team training and all that?
Oh yes, we do. In fact, our training it covers quite wide, not only insurance. It covers like manufacturing. We cover hotels. We cover retails. In fact, we can say we cover all types of industry because we train people on principles, and principles never change.
True.
Yeah.
So where can I find them? Where can they find you? If let's say our audience is interested in you, where can they find you?
Okay, you can find me on my Facebook page, Success Driven Training and Consultancy, Success Driven Training Consultancy, or at my website www.successdriven.com.my, successdriven.com.my, or sometimes you can see me on the TV lah. Some of you may know what I mean.
Yeah, I have to do this social distancing, but when you're standing beside Mr. Panadol, you can't do social distancing. This is the guy that appears on the commercial of Panadol. He is known as the Malaysian Mr. Panadol, right? I have the privilege of having Mr. Panadol here with me. So now, today is a special day, right? We say that it is 3,000 likes. So,
3,000, yay!
so my wife and our baker actually prepared this for us. It is a
Wow!
celebrating 3,000 likes on our Facebook page, and today we'd like to share this with Bernard. And
Thank you so much.
so all the viewers out there, thank you
Appreciate it
for
so much.
supporting this success stories. Yes, success story and Lim Ren En in success stories and insurance matters. In a way, we want to actually give more people a way to understand that you can be successful in life.
Yes.
Second thing, the insurance matters is that you can buy an insurance policy that you want, not just what you need, but what you want. That is more important. I've learned something yesterday. When you ask a question of what people needs or what people wants, I would say, can you just differentiate the feeling? It's like if I would say, no, Bernard, I think you need so much of insurance policy. Would you agree? Or if I change, Bernard, what would you want when you retire at 65 to have for your family? Can you see the feelings?
Yeah.
So this is something we learned through the process. I learned something yesterday. It is about sales, the way we ask questions.
Right.
We can do another special session for that. But for today, thank you so much, Bernard, for coming up to the show.
Pleasure.
And I hope you have that 3 simple steps. Number 1 is to what? Number 1 is to get your whole company involved in the sales process. Number 2 is identify and basically groom their strength instead of dampening their strength. And number 3 is
Review and feedback for your sales department and the non-sales.
review and feedback for your sales department and non-sales. If you want to find Bernard, you can find in our content, in our Facebook page. Bernard's details is there, success driven, Facebook, his number, email address, all is there. So thank you so much for coming to Lim Ren En Live, and we will see you again next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.